Looking for inspiring destinations, incredible places to stay, and the most exciting bucket list experiences to travel to next? Welcome to Destination Everywhere with hospitality and travel entrepreneurs Todd Bludworth and Andy McNeill. Having traveled to over 100 countries, Todd and Andy bring you unique perspectives with celebrities in the know, hospitality experts, and native connoisseurs to discover must-dos and inspirational destinations to plan your next trip for business or pleasure. So pack your bags and get ready as we bring you Destination Everywhere with Todd and Andy.
Ticos and Ticas, the casual name for Costa Ricans, have the longevity mindset of Pura Vida, meaning pure life, and they live it to the fullest. With volcanoes, rainforests, and beaches, there's no shortage of inspiring activity. Have an adventure on horseback, zip line, raft, rock climb, or relax on a catamaran and sip on coffee or craft brew. Today we will be interviewing the general manager of Casa Chameleon Hotel, Federico Gerdian. This villa hotel has been described as the gates of heaven. And get ready to put together a list of fun outdoor activities with Chuck Menefacio. Live out the simple life on this episode of Destination Everywhere, Costa Rica.
Welcome, everyone. I'm Andy McNeill, and we are so excited today. Welcome to Destination Everywhere. Along with Todd Bludworth, we're bringing you to one of our favorite places in the Western Hemisphere, Costa Rica. We have been there lots of times. It is known for the Pura Vida lifestyle, meaning pure life, and there's so much to do. We've taken family trips down there. We've taken clients down there for fantastic incentive trips, and we've got lots of great ideas for you today. So, Todd, tell me about your experience there and what you're looking forward to sharing with our audience today.
We ended up going down and we flew into San Jose. We took Sanza Airlines over to Capos, I remember. And then we stayed at McNeill and Todd, and that was my first trip. And we actually spent quite a bit of time in San Jose, and it was just absolutely amazing. At the time, it was relatively untouched. It was great for a U.S. traveler because I could get by with my very little Spanish. Most people actually spoke English that we dealt with, which was great. And it was relatively inexpensive, and I know there's a lot of resorts there now, but it was absolutely just an amazing trip. And then I've gone since then, now that I've become a little more settled in my lifestyle, and I can check out some of the nicer things. And some of the resorts there are just, second to none. Absolutely gorgeous.
Now, the currency is the cologne. But as you said, it's so easy to get around. And everyone speaks English, even though Spanish is the major language. And because of that, it's really easy to travel.
Well, the wildlife that they have in Costa Rica, like you said, you can do the beaches, but then you're not very far, and then you're just up in the volcanoes, and it's some of the green, most plush tropical forests you've ever seen, and the zip lining and the eco adventure activities that you can do in Costa Rica are limitless. And what's great is, they have the local guys, they call them ticos, and you can always find somebody to take you out on one of these excursions and do something. They are fearless fellas and ladies. Everything from horseback riding to zip lining to rafting and rock climbing. You can always find these guides that will just, knock your socks off. And they've all just impressed me tremendously.
Now, it is a tropical climate, though, and it has the Caribbean side and the Pacific side. Mm-hmm. And I've been there in October when I was younger, and I didn't know October is the wettest month.
Yeah, the seasons.
And
you got to know the seasons.
Yeah, you really need to know the seasons when you go down to anywhere in Central America with its rainforest. In particular, that it can be really, really wet. And the driest months tend to be around March, December to March. So just take that into account when you're planning your trips, unless you like lots and lots of rain. Right. But just absolutely beautiful. And for those of you who might be considering taking a client down there or taking team members down there from your company, they have a new National Conference and Convention Center. It's just 5 miles from the international airport, and is really focused on promoting business and tourism in that type of climate where you can do outdoor activities. And it's just absolutely beautiful.
And there's actually great lift coming from, the East Coast or the West Coast. It's kind of right there in the middle. It's easy to get to. I mean, really easy. It takes us, less time to get to Costa Rica from South Florida than it does to, LA or even Colorado.
It's such a quick trip. And when you fly from Miami, you actually fly straight over Cuba, which
is always neat to see. All right. Well, we will be right back with our first guest. Welcome back. We are now joined by our next guest from Guanacaste in Costa Rica. He is an outdoor and fitness enthusiast, and he's the CEO and founder of Chuck Fitness. We'd like to welcome Chuck Menefacio. Hi, Chuck. How are you?
Hello, guys. How are you? Thank you for having me on the show.
How did you get to where you are right now? And what is it about Costa Rica that kind of draws you in and draws you back?
Well, Todd, that was a great question because I am Costa Rican, even though I wasn't born here. I was born in Switzerland, in Geneva. I lived most of my life here in Costa Rica, and most of my family are from here. I lived abroad for a while, then like 20 years, and I just came back. I came back 2 years ago because I missed this beautiful paradise. Starting with beaches, we have so much variety of fauna and flora and adventures. I mean, there's anything that you want to do, we have it. We call it the New Zealand of Central America because we have so much stuff to do here, and it's a beautiful paradise, like I said before. So I came back and just reminded me of the beauty that we have here. The lifestyle, the pura vida lifestyle, which is more relaxed and more calm and taking things one day at a time and not rushing and not going crazy with work and so forth. So it's a beautiful life here, very calm, very outdoor adventures, very, very peaceful.
That's excellent. So let's define the Pura Vida lifestyle for our listeners who may not know. You talked about kind of a relaxed lifestyle, but it's also about health and wellness as well, right?
Yes, of course. Everybody here is very conscious about not just the environment, but also what we eat. Everything is natural, organic. Plus, almost everything is fresh from the moment you go to the farmer's market to the little market on the next door, which they sell like fruits and vegetables. Everything is fresh. So yeah, we have a very good lifestyle here, very natural, and everything. The main courses and the main plates here are based on vegetables and rice and beans, and it's a very good lifestyle. It's very, very healthy.
How do you find the tourist consumer to basically provide your services to?
Well, it's simple and it's easy because specifically where I am, it's a very small town. It's called Las Catalinas. It's in Playa Danta, which is in Guanacaste, and it's a very small beach, but it provides all sorts of things. So my experience here, which has been for the past year or two that I've been coming here, is that everyone that comes here comes specifically with that in mind, adventure, doing trails. We have a huge mountain bike trail that it was done by a champion, a world champion from Europe. We have paddleboard competitions. There's all sorts of tournaments and competitions, for triathletes. It's big. It's really, really big. I had the opportunity to establish myself here, coming from the United States with all my experience in fitness and outdoor activities. It was a perfect fit. So most of the tourism here it's geared towards that adventure, outdoors, waterfalls, jumping, spelunking. I just like 3 weeks ago just took my daughter to do one of the longest zip lining. They call it the Superman because it's about 1,800 meters long.
Where was that?
This is in Diamante, and it's I believe it's one of the third ones and the largest in the world.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, you zip line from one tip of the mountain all the way to the other tip. It takes forever. You feel like you're actually flying. It's amazing. And my daughter was like static. I mean, she couldn't even believe it. These are the things that as you zip lining, you're overlooking the ocean. So you're
amazing
in the mountain and you're overlooking the ocean. So those are the things that you kind of, you have to remind yourself that like, wow, I live here. I'm experiencing this. So yeah, I would recommend anybody that is looking for a thrill or for an adventure, even if they're not going to zip line, you can still see the lookouts, and it's an amazing sight. When you see a whole beach from the tip of the mountain and it's right there. Very few places that I can remember that I've seen that. I mean, I've seen that in Hawaii, maybe some other places in the United States, but it's very few ones that I've experienced. But here we have it everywhere.
You do. And let's talk a little bit about your approach to fitness and how you work with individuals and groups. I would love to know how you do groups, because that's really exciting from a fitness perspective.
Sure.
But how do you do that, and how do you kind of blend in the Costa Rican lifestyle into your philosophy around health and wellness?
Well, here in the programs that I'm implementing in the Las Catalinas in this area, it's very simple, it's very easy, because like I mentioned before, everybody that is coming here, the tourists, we have residents, we have locals, everyone has already that mindset. They're coming, to exercise, to hike, to do all different things. So our gym, our facility is an outdoor facility. We also have a small palapa, so to speak, it's covered, but we can do group classes. And a lot of the people here, they come, they pay by day or they pay for the week. And we have all sorts of memberships that they can do. And it's simple. Like I said, everyone is so relaxed, because the moment they come to Costa Rica, it's almost like it's part of it's injected in your system. You have to, coming back for me after 20 years living in the States, I had to kind of remember that lifestyle, because it's almost like it's forced, because everybody's so relaxed, it's so laid back. And then you have to kind of oh, okay, I'm in Costa Rica now, how to, sit back and relax and not stress out and not worry about things. And, people take their time, and it's part of the lifestyle. And so that's why everybody tells you pura vida, that means.
Yeah, you hear it all the time, don't you?
Yeah,
you hear it all the time when you're going around town.
Especially when you're getting stressed out or something, is not going your way. And people just turn around and tell you pura vida. And you're like, oh yeah. That's what it means.
Costa Rica has so much, and you've got, the mountains, you've got the beaches, you've got volcanoes, you've got rainforest. What part would you recommend to our listeners, where they want to go? Do you have a favorite spot? I mean, you're in Guanacaste, and that obviously is a very special spot. But when you take a vacation in the country, where do you go?
It's hard to narrow one, because there's so many. I love going to waterfalls. That's one of my favorite, and jumping from waterfalls.
Do you have a favorite? Do you have a favorite waterfall?
There's a waterfall in Rincón de la Vieja. It's a volcano, and it's a beautiful sight. It's almost like a tunnel. When you're coming down, you have to go down around this huge hole, kind of like a cenote, but it's wider, but it just ends up in this beautiful closed mountain, and the waterfall is right there. So you can actually go behind the waterfall. You can jump into the natural pool, and it's crystal clear.
Beautiful.
The water
sounds
oh my
amazing.
God, it's amazing. It's such an experience, because we take it for granted sometimes, because I've done it so many times that I forget that most people don't have that at home. They don't have it right next door.
What is a typical Costa Rican meal? And do you have a favorite spot that you like to go to, close to where you are, not fancy dining, just a space with good food and good atmosphere?
Oh my goodness. There's several ones. And one of my favorites, the typical Costa Rican meals, is rice and beans. We call it gallo pinto. And it's like rice and beans, a little bit moist, a little bit of sauce. And they put picadillo, which is like, potatoes and a little bit of meat. You put eggs and everything. So you have like a huge carb bomb. But that's like the typical, Costa Rican. That's what they eat. We have breakfast. It's a heavy breakfast. One of my favorite places to go, it's called Gracia. It's in Mar Vista. It's a friend of mine that has amazing chef. And the view there, you sit and you have like an infinity pool and you get to see the whole ocean from there.
It sounds incredible.
While you're dining or having lunch, and it's really good. These are good friends of mine also, but even besides the fact they're friends, the food is amazing. You can have a drink, you have, you name it. It's a really good restaurant.
Since you are not only, you were born in Geneva, you've lived in the United States, you've lived in Costa Rica, you're a world traveler. We ask all of our local connoisseurs our rapid fire questions. We'd like to ask you them now, if that's okay, and you can give some tips to our listeners. So the first one is, have you ever completed anything on your personal bucket list? And if so, what was it?
I did. Last year I went to Chile, went to Calafate, which is in Argentina. And I crossed the border in about 4 hours to Chile to Torres del Paine, which is a huge national park there. And then there's an eco camp. It's a very famous eco camp. And then you experience everything. We did horseback riding, mountain biking. We went to the glaciers. We kayaked in the glaciers.
Amazing! Kayaking in the glaciers.
Yeah. It was a really nice experience, and the adventure. Like I said, I'm an adventure seeker, so I love this type of adventure. We also went to Perito Moreno, which is a huge glacier there in Argentina, and we actually walked on the glacier, that was one of my bucket list.
All right, the next one is,
sure.
if you could live anywhere in the world for a year, where would it be?
Costa Rica.
That's an easy one. Good for you.
I knew that was going to be the answer.
Yep.
Excellent. Next question. When you're packing for a trip, what is something you pack that may surprise our listeners?
And this is like all my friends bug me. I pack a band, like a tube band to do exercise.
Okay.
So I can put it anywhere in the hotel room or anything. And what else do I pack? I just pack like my light gear to work out, after
Absolutely.
after a day or, hiking or whatever I do is just go do a little light work on the hotel. Not all hotels in the world have gyms. So
yep.
I always have to do my workout when I go traveling.
Our last rapid fire question is, what is your most memorable experience in Costa Rica?
In Costa Rica, and there's so many, but I'm going to say learning how to surf when I was 15 years old and being on my own and sleeping on the sleeping bag on the sand on the beach in Tamarindo. That's where I started learning how to surf.
Excellent.
Yeah,
Tamarindo. That was the first place I tried surfing as well.
Yeah, it's very easy. It's good for somebody that's learning. It has good waves. I actually met Tom Curran at the time. He was the world champion surfing there.
Fantastic.
I didn't know who he was. He just told me like he is a surfer, and I was like, oh great, let's go surfing. And later in life, I found out he was Tom Curran, which was huge.
That's amazing.
He was
great example of pura vida, right? You just go with it.
Yeah.
If our listeners want to follow you on social media, how can they track you to know what you're up to?
Yeah, they can look me up on Instagram. We have an Instagram account, which is core_Chuck Fitness. And here's my Chuck Fitness logo.
It's CHAK Fitness for those listening.
Mm-hmm. And Core is our gym here in Las Catalinas. Core Gym, or Core by Chuck Fitness. And core_ by Chuck Fitness, and on Instagram. You can follow us there.
Well, thank you so much, Chuck. We really appreciate you taking the time and sharing Costa Rica with us.
I appreciate you guys.
And we wish you all the best. Safe travels.
Come by and visit. Come by and visit.
Absolutely. We'll see you soon. That's what I need right about now.
All right.
Thanks, Chuck.
Thanks,
Have a good one. Pura vida.
Pura vida.
Welcome back, everybody. All right, Todd, you ready to do our top 10 bucket list of bucket list ideas for Costa Rica?
I am, but this was really hard to choose because I mean the list
Yeah.
could have gone on, but time permitting, we'll get as many as we can in.
Excellent, excellent. So our first one, and it's amazing. We've been several times, is visiting the most active volcano in Costa Rica. It is Arenal, and it's been the most active volcano for the last 43 years. And last time it had a lava flow was in 2010. It's just sleeping, though. They say it can erupt at any time. And there's so many great outdoor activities around there. There's some fantastic hotels like this Springs, Costa Rica. There's horseback riding, whitewater rafting, hiking, zip
Right.
lining that we're going to talk about. Just so much to do.
Yeah, and La Fortuna had some really great restaurants, which is right at the base of the mountain, the town there.
Yeah, and it's
That's-
about,
yeah.
I would say, about 2.5 hours from San Jose. And
It probably depends. We actually did take an incentive group there once, and in a bus, it was kind of nerve wracking. But if you have a smaller vehicle, yeah, 2.5 hours, unless the roads have improved since the last time I was there, which they always seem to be doing. But yeah, not that long.
awesome. Great. Todd, what do you have?
Well, one of ours, and it's actually, you can pass it if you're going out to the volcano. It's La Paz. It's Waterfall Gardens Nature Park and the Peace Lodge. And it is, it's got 5 amazing waterfalls. It's the largest animal sanctuary in Costa Rica, and it's one of the most popular nature tours. When we went, and we actually stayed on that property, and the rooms were absolutely amazing. There weren't that many rooms. I think at the time there were 13 maybe, and don't quote me on that. But they have, we took our kids, and they have tons of hummingbirds, and our kids were holding up these little hummingbird cups, and they would just come right up to you. They had an exhibit with frogs, and it's like pitch black in there. You go in, and again, you're just seeing these most amazing, all these different types of frogs that are native to Costa Rica, birds, frogs, butterflies. It was just, it was really something. I mean, it's great for an adult, but the kids, and ours were 4, maybe 5, maybe even younger, absolutely loved it.
Yeah, just a beautiful location, and but straight up to a national park, so there's lots of hiking as well. All right, so my next one is really immerse yourselves in one of the greatest exports that Costa Rica have, which is its coffee. And if you listen to the podcast, I'm a coffee aficionado. I love it, and there's no better place in Central America to get great coffee. And one of the things you can do is really experience the coffee culture by going to the El Toledo Coffee Tour. It's an organic coffee farm, and the family owned farm really focuses on growing with organic and sustainability in mind, and only using the natural resources of the land. And their philosophy is focusing on health than money. So a great message as well, a beautiful location, and just a lot of fun to see how great Costa Rican coffee is made. And as you know, anywhere where there's great volcanic soil can really produce some really strong, wonderful coffee.
Right. Don't ask for a Starbucks.
Yeah, don't ask for a Starbucks in Costa Rica.
This next one is really, really cool. It's spend a night in an exclusive, it's a one-of-a-kind suite at the 727 fuselage home. And it's a vintage 1965 Boeing 727 aircraft that's been refurbished and placed inside and placed in the jungle canopy. And it offers a 2-bedroom suite, and it totally immerses you in nature. Really, really different experience. And you could sit on the terrace overlooking the trees.
That sounds incredible.
And some of the animals you might see while you're there are like sloths, monkeys, and just, a ton of, Costa Rica, again, has so many animals and different types of species. But you're probably, going to be amazed with some of the wildlife that you see if you stay there.
Excellent, excellent. And next thing I'm going to talk about is, health tourism and wellness tourism in Costa Rica itself. There's so much of it, but there's the Pure Life, Pura Vida, which is a living concept that is in Costa Rica. And the Costa Rican lifestyle is all about improving mental and physical health. And therefore, it's very relaxing, and there's a lot of great beneficial activities around that. There's forest baths where you can breathe in fresh forest air. And barefoot earthing, which is barefoot walks, and body wraps made in volcanic mud and coffee. and chocolate to moisturize the skin. Costa Rica also has one of the blue zones, and if you recall, a blue zone is an area where the longest, healthiest living humans live, and that is in Nicoya, and they've had over 900 people lived over to the age of 90, mainly because of the calcium-rich waters that are around around the town. So definitely take that out, and definitely include that in your plan as you're planning your trip.
I know.
Yeah, Pura Vida.
My, I have a cousin who actually went to a all-girls surf camp in Costa Rica, where they incorporated, again, like it was a whole wellness program, and she had the best time. They learned to surf, and then they did yoga and meditation. They kind of want to stay together, but they just had the most amazing time. They said the surf instructors were amazing, the meditation, and then of course, the scenery and the wildlife. But if you want to get some more traditional culture, almost Western inspired, European inspired, there's an amazing theater that is in San Jose, and it's modeled after the Paris Opera House. And
Oh, wow.
it obviously has breathtaking interiors. The ceiling, the theater's main ceiling, was just named one of the top great ceilings around the world. So if frescoes and paintings and architecture are your thing, definitely go by the National Theater in San Jose.
So now we're going to go to the Pacific side and going deep sea fishing off of Manuel Antonio. Because there's no major fishing industry off the coast of Costa Rica, the fishing and the deep sea fishing is amazing. When I was there, when I was in my 20s, I was lucky enough to jump on a boat. You can just walk straight up to the docks and jump on a boat for the day. I went out there and I caught a black marlin, which was the size of a cow. They pulled it up to the side of the boat. We let it go, but for a few minutes there, we were able to touch it and experience it in its natural habitat. And I'm telling you, it was definitely a bucket list item for me, and one of those things that I will never forget. It was absolutely incredible. So deep sea fishing, you can catch live tuna, and they cut it actually on the boat for you, and you can eat it, and you can still feel it moving around in your mouth. It's pretty incredible.
Yeah, your experience, Manuel Antonio, was better than mine. I about drowned surfing. It was, don't go surfing in some areas if you don't have the experience of a good surfer. So the next one is what I should have been doing instead of surfing. There's a great little hidden sanctuary beach called Playa Casa, and it is located also in the Nicoya Peninsula, and as part of the Kuru Wildlife Refuge. So it's absolutely just an amazing, gorgeous spot. It's picturesque. And when you think of the beach, it has crystal blue waters. You can see the bottom when you're in the ocean. You can see the ocean floor. You can rent kayaks, snorkels, and just really kind of enjoy, a serene, secluded spot.
That sounds
absolutely
incredible.
Gorgeous.
That's wonderful. And finally, we have something that we did with a client, and we brought them down to Costa Rica. As we took them to the Limon Carnival. It's a Caribbean annual carnival, usually in October, and it spans over a week. And they have famous chefs and dishes and singing and dancing, and just a lot of fun. And if you really want to experience a traditional Caribbean carnival, this one is for you. It's the Le Mans Carnival. Just a lot of fun and something you can do with the entire family.
Wait, and I want to add one more, Andy, if we could.
Okay, sure.
And this is one, because when I talk about Costa Rica, and every once in a while, ziplining comes up. Especially if you're talking about eco adventures, this is one we discovered when we were taking an incentive group there, and then we actually went back as just personal travelers, leisure travelers, and it's the Sky Adventures Arnold Park, and it was one of those zip lines where I'm typically not a very nervous person, but this one had my knees shaking. And it was, you take a tram up, and then of course, these guides are just zipping down, then someone's there to meet you. But these are the longest, highest zip lines. And I know there are probably longer ones and higher ones, but that I had ever seen. And I remember when we took the incentive group to these zip lines, someone from the group had to go first. And I was actually working, so I was the one that had to go first. And every time I was just, I was petrified. And because you're going so fast, absolutely amazing if you can keep your eyes open. The views are just spectacular. So I definitely recommend it. The same group also does kayaking tours, and they rent bikes and things like that. But the zip lining is definitely a recommended adventure.
So everyone, there are some great bucket list ideas as you're planning your next trip and destination to Costa Rica. We'll be right back.
At AMI, we're passionate about meeting connections that change lives. For over 20 years, we have traveled our clients all over the globe, supporting their business goals and helping them stand apart. From hotel sourcing to audiovisual magic, we'll make your corporate meeting or event second to none. Go to AmericanMeetings.com to learn more. American Meetings, AMI, meeting planning perfected.
Welcome back to Destination Everywhere. And this edition in Costa Rica, we've got our next guest with a very special property. I'd like to welcome Federico Gurdián. And Federico is the general manager of the Casa Chameleon property in Las Catalinas. So welcome. How are you today, Federico?
Thank you. I'm doing great. Very excited to be part of this podcast, and looking forward to letting you know all about the property and giving you some insiders about Costa Rica too.
Awesome. What a beautiful property. If you guys have not seen this property, get online and see it. It has views like I've never seen. Just absolutely stunning.
Yeah, and we should mention there are two properties in Costa Rica. The Casa Chameleon properties include not only the one at Las Catalinas, but also Mapais, which is, they're both in Guanacaste, right? Or is Mapais a little further south?
Yes, they are both. Well, Catalinas is in Guanacaste, and Mapais is located in the province of Punta Arenas. But we are on the same peninsula.
That's great. And let's talk about this property because it's relatively new, and it has 21 villas with their own private plunge pools, right? And that's just something that everyone is going to want to do. I bet they're extremely popular, and they're saltwater as well, right? Tell us a little bit about those and a little bit about the guest experience.
Well, yes, the Las Catalinas property is a very, very unique property in Costa Rica. You won't find many of them like this since we're perched in the hill, but so close to the ocean. That's not something you get very often. So we decided to take advantage of that and build these beautiful villas that offer private plunge pools. As you mentioned, all of them have astonishing ocean views. But an added fact is that half of them have sunset views. So you can enjoy year-round beautiful sunsets from the privacy of your terrace, in your plunge pool, with your couple, which makes it a perfect setting for a romantic escape or an anniversary celebration.
It sounds beautiful. Sounds beautiful. You might not get them out of the villa.
It's actually one of the biggest challenges we have.
The town doesn't allow cars. You tell us the best way, what can they expect? Where would a guest fly into? And then how are they going to get to the property from the airport?
Okay. Well, my recommendation is to definitely land in the Liberia airport. There's two international airports in Costa Rica, the San Jose one and the Liberia one. You have to land in Liberia because if not, it's a long drive from San Jose. So it's my recommendation, stay in Liberia. And then we will pick you up in our hotel car with our bilingual driver that knows a lot about the area. And it's a short drive. It's just 45 minutes to the property, very scenic drive. Once you get to the hotel, you really won't need a car for much. If you do need to go somewhere else, we have the hotel car available that can drive you to the location that you desire.
Well, that's great. Tell us about some of these really unique experiences. I understand there's a hanging bridge that goes across a volcano. Mm-hmm. I hope the volcano is not active, right?
There's several volcanoes here in Costa Rica. Near the hotel, around an hour away, is Rincón de la Vieja volcano. It is active actually. But it's very
dormant.
safe.
Dormant?
Yeah.
Yes, not going anywhere.
It's still active, but the explosions it makes are like vapor explosions. It's not actually like magma or anything. And it's surrounded by lush tropical rainforest. So there you can
beautiful.
Bridges. You can find thermal waters, mud baths.
Now, how far is that from the hotel?
That's an hour and 15 minutes away.
Okay, so just a quick drive and a great day excursion from the hotel.
it's a perfect half-day trip that you can take and really enjoy it. There's some beautiful, very traditional Costa Rican restaurants that you can stop by and have lunch and get that cultural connection that our guests are so much seeking for. That's something that I found in our guests. They love to get to know the Costa Rican culture, and it's something that we have to portray here at the hotel, and they get to experience it firsthand when they go visit these locations.
So, Federico, are you finding that more guests that come to your property, are they looking for ecotourism? Are they looking to get outside? Or are they looking for activities on the water, whether it's, surfing, fishing, things like that? And whatever they're looking for, does the hotel have access to set all of those up for your guests?
Yes, we have total flexibility. Since we are a small property, our main goal is to cater to all and every need that our guests have. Like, for example, it's funny because since we're an adults only property, we get two segments of guests.
Yep.
The very young ones that are on their honeymoon,
Mhm.
and that are very active and seeking for adventure. And then we have the older adults that are already with big kids, and they're coming more like for the romanticism and like anniversary celebrations and those type of stuff. So we cater to the two things. Like, if you want to just lounge by the hotel and enjoy the day beds around the pool, we will give you a beautiful service. And if you want to do hikes and things, you can do it without having to leave the property, because
Nice.
the town of Las Catalinas is located on a very big property. It's over 600 hectares. It's full of mountain biking trails, hiking trails, all surrounding the hotel. So
Oh, beautiful.
you don't have to go anywhere if you're looking for like hikes or a short adventure. We have mountain bikes here at the hotel. One of my hobbies is mountain biking. So once a week, we will take guests out mountain biking with me.
Oh, nice.
And
That's a
so
good perk. That's a good perk to your job.
yeah,
You get to go biking.
I love it.
You get to get paid to go mountain biking. How awesome is that? Yeah. Now, another thing you guys mentioned to us was this this coffee tour. So I will say that we are in the morning. I am drinking my coffee, and I'm a huge Costa Rican coffee fan. It's some of the best coffee in the world because of the volcanic organic matter there. Makes it really, really special. Tell us about this tour, and where do you take everybody?
Well, there's a coffee tour. It's around an hour and a half away in an area that is a little bit higher than us, because coffee, needs
Yep.
certain height to be better.
Yep.
And one of our private guides will take you there. You will be able to walk through the coffee plantation. They'll take you through the whole process of how coffee is made. And by the end of the tour, you'll be enjoying a cup of warm coffee from that farm with some traditional Costa Rican pastries. So it's a learning experience. And then, if you wish, you can buy some of their coffee to take back home, or just enjoy it there for yourself. I mean, it's something beautiful, not very far away from the hotel. Also, it's around an hour and a half. Also, so for coffee lovers, that's something I strongly.
I will be down. You'll be seeing me. That's
Yeah.
that's great.
So around that area, you just as a local, what are your favorites? Your favorite restaurant? Where do you like to go get food?
Well, I'm a huge Italian food lover, like huge. And near the hotel, there is an Italian restaurant called La Forchetta, run by this really nice Italian family that has been living for a long time in Costa Rica. And they absolutely have the best ravioli with sea bass. It's always fresh, homemade, delicious. And the pizza, it's amazing. Then you have the ocean here. If you like surfing, I love surfing.
Do you have
Something
good
like
waves
that.
right there?
30 minutes away from the hotel, there is an
Okay.
area called Playa Grande and Tamarindo, which is great for surfing, to learn how to surf. I live very close to that area, actually, and I try to surf at least 2 or 3 times a week. It keeps my mental health, and
Right.
it's beautiful. And if I'm not doing that in my time off, I am mountain biking the trails or spending time with the family. I love spending time with my family, and Costa Rica is a place that makes that very easy, because there's a lot of places that you can go without having to drive very far away.
So we like to ask all of our guests our rapid fire questions. And what they are is our listeners want to hear from world travelers like you, people who are in the industry and what it's like. So are you ready for them?
Yes.
All right, here we go. So the first one is, have you personally ever completed anything on your bucket list?
Yes, I had the chance to visit Iceland. It was huge on my bucket list. I was there for 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Wow. What was the most amazing thing there?
Well, just driving around the island was amazing. I mean, pointing out one single thing is so difficult because that place is filled with nature.
It's very special, isn't it?
Nature lovers. So we were just driving like crazy around the island. Like we didn't even stay very long in any hotel. We were on the road all the time, seeing all these places. The scenery is mind blowing. So, I mean, I would
just going to bucket list itself, huh?
Yeah. I mean, I would be back in Iceland in a heartbeat.
That's great. All right. So if you could ever live anywhere in the world for a year, where would it be?
Well, that was a difficult one to think about because Australia is one of the places I would love to be able to live in for a year. It's a huge place where you can experience so much nature. I'm a huge nature lover, so I'd say Australia would be perfect. I would be able to surf world-class waves and explore the wildlife
right?
there.
Yeah, awesome. All right, if you could travel with someone infamous or famous, dead or alive, who would it be?
Kelly Slater.
Oh, Kelly Slater, go surfing. That's a good one.
Yes.
He would definitely take you to Australia, wouldn't he?
Yes, and I will be happy to show him around Costa Rica too. He's been here several times, but there's some places I will be happy to show him.
Oh, great. Well, maybe we'll hit the podcast.
We'll have to hashtag Kelly Slater on this and see if he gets the message.
Well, that would be a dream come true.
All right. So packing for a trip, what is something you pack that may surprise our listeners?
Wow, I always pack food.
Food. All right.
Yes, like Costa Rican treats and chocolates. I always need them with me. I mean, it sounds weird, but I'm very fond of some things that I eat here in Costa Rica. And even if it's for a week, I try to take my favorite chocolates from here because I like having them at night.
Excellent. Costa Rica has great chocolate for our listeners if you didn't know that.
Yeah.
And finally, what is your most personal, memorable experience in Costa Rica?
Well, there's a waterfall called Tinamaste in the southern Pacific of Costa Rica.
Okay.
You will hike for an hour and a half through the rainforest, and then you'll come up to this huge waterfall. And what makes it so special is that right behind the waterfall, there's a cave.
Oh, wow.
The family that owns that farm has set up beds and a kitchen and bathrooms. So you will go and sleep in the cave behind the waterfall.
Have you done that?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
I've done it twice. And that's definitely my most memorable experience
Now that's a bucket list item. That's a great one.
So did you sleep overnight in the cave?
Yes. You hike there in the morning, you arrive at the waterfall in midday, and you will have lunch in the waterfall, dinner, and breakfast. There's no electricity or anything in the cave. It's all with candlelight, and they will fix your meals there. And there's
fantastic. How loud is it? Is it loud?
It's soothing. It's loud, but it's
okay.
Since it's water falling, it's soothing. It's delicious to sleep. It's very humid, but
say where this is again.
It's in Tinamaste. It's called in the southern Pacific near Ballena. It's from here. It's a long drive. It's like
that's
5 hours.
That's definitely a bucket list item for sure. How incredible! Thanks for sharing that with us. That's great.
Yes, I'll be happy to send you more information because it is something really special.
Well, that's incredible. Well, thank you. You did great on the rapid fire questions, and we really appreciate your time and your beautiful, beautiful hotel. Where can our listeners find you guys on social media and your website?
Well, social media, we have our Instagram, which is Casa Chameleon Hotels. There you'll be able to find us on Instagram, Facebook also, Casa Chameleon Hotels.
Excellent.
Our website is casachameleonhotels.com. There you'll be able to access all our properties and book there and access some great specials that we have for booking online for our guests.
Fantastic. Well, Federico, thank you so much for your time. We greatly appreciate all the great ideas and explaining everything around the hotel, but also those great ideas you have for far away, and all you gave us like 5 or 6 just fantastic suggestions. So thanks so much. And thanks for joining us on Destination Everywhere.
Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure meeting you, and let me know when you want to join me in one adventure here in Costa Rica.
Oh, absolutely.
We certainly will. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody, to Destination Everywhere, Costa Rica. Gosh, Costa Rica, an amazing country. Been there so many times, and I always want to go back. We talked about the mountains, the beaches, hiking, surfing, Pura Vida. Probably the thing that I want to go back and do is the waterfalls. Just like Chuck was saying, I've been to so many, and they really are some of the best in the world. So when you're planning your trip, make sure that you look at all the great natural waterfalls that you can see. That's my last great tip. So special thanks to our team here at Destination Everywhere, our copywriter, Chris Jordan, Annie Fernandez, our creative director, Lauren Campbell, our podcast producer. Thank you, Lauren. Make sure you subscribe, rate, and review the show on your preferred podcast app or by going to destination-everywhere.com. Be sure to join us next time on Destination Everywhere. Be safe out there.
You've just tuned in to another episode of Destination Everywhere with travel and hospitality entrepreneurs Todd Bludworth and Andy McNeill. To access the show notes and other helpful resources, visit destination-everywhere.com. Join us again next week for another bucket list-filled show as we feature another travel-worthy destination. Until next time, travel well and be safe out there.